Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ve salatu ve selamu ala Resulü Muhammeden seyyidil evvelin ve ahirin. Medad ya Resul Muhammed ya Sadat Ashabı. Destur ve inşallah faiz asal Şeyh Muhammed'in tarikatuna as-sahve ve'l hayru fil cemiyye. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. İnne ekremakum indallahi atqakum. Allah Azze ve Celle'nin indinde yakın olmak, ona onun istediği gibi olmak insanoğlu için en büyük arzu olması lazım.
To be close to Allah Almighty in the divine presence, and to be in a state as He Almighty Allah wishes, should be the greatest desire for a human being.
Allah seni beğenirse, severse odur mühim olan.
If Allah Almighty likes you and loves you, that is what matters.
Şimdiki insanlar Allah herkese aynı yarattı.
Allah Almighty created people equally as human beings.
Onu beğenir, bunu beğenmez.
But people nowadays, they discriminate against each other. They like this person, they do not like another person.
Kendisini yüksek, başkalarından daha yüksek sayar, bazılarından daha aşağı sayar.
And you see people how they consider themselves higher than others, while others consider themselves lower than others.
Bu şeytanın işi. Halbuki Allah Azze ve Celle herkesi aynı yaratmış.
And this is the work of Shaitan, to make people consider themselves superior to others and make others be represented inferior to others. Because Allah Almighty in reality has created every person as a human being and has created them the same way.
En kıymetlisi kimdir?
And what is it that distinguishes a human being, and what makes a person to be most valuable?
Allah Azze ve Celle'ye yakın, Allah'tan utanan, Allah'tan korkan insandır.
It is our close proximity to Allah Almighty. The closer you are to Allah Almighty, the more valuable you become. The valuable person is the person who's close to Allah Almighty, who feels shame before Allah Almighty, who fears Allah Almighty.
Kötülük yapmamak için.
A valuable person is someone who fears Allah Almighty, who is afraid of doing something bad and who strives to not do evil.
Hata yapmamak için uğraşan insandır.
A valuable person is someone who is conscious and aware of Allah Almighty and who strives to not make mistakes.
Ötekisi, şimdikiler bizim burada bahsus 200 seneden beri Avrupa'ya benzemek ister.
But unfortunately, and especially when you look at people here, for the last couple of years, you see them more and more trying to resemble Europe and to be more like Europe.
Avrupa ne der? Avrupa bizi nasıl görür?
And all that people here are interested in is how does Europe see us?
Onlar gibi giyinelim, onlar gibi hareket edelim.
And you see people saying things like, let us dress like them, let us act like them, so that they will like us.
Ki beğensinler bizi. Beğense ne olacak? Beğen olmasa. Seni o.
But if they like you, what will happen? If they don't like you, then what?
Seni maymun gibi uğraştırıyor.
All this comes down to is it only makes you struggle like a monkey.
İstediği gibi giydiriyor, kuşandırıyor, şey yapıyor, istediğini veriyor, istemediğini vermiyor.
They make you dress you the way they want you to dress. They make you put on clothes. They want you to put on clothes. They give what they want to give, and they do not give what they do not want you. They do not give you what they don't want to give.
Ondan sonra da daha kuş tutsan ağzına yani seni beğenmeyecek.
And after all that, they make you do all those things and make you behave in all those manners. And even if you caught a bird with your mouth, they still will not like you.
Yani sen uğraşıyorsun ki onlara benzeyesin.
Yet you are striving so that you may resemble them.
Onlara benzersen bir faydası yok.
If you resemble them, there is no benefit.
Allah indinde hiçbir kıymeti yok.
In the sight of Allah Almighty, it has no value whatsoever.
Kıymet Allah Azze ve Celle'nin yolunda olmak, Allah Azze ve Celle'den korkmak.
Value lies in being on the path of Allah Almighty. What is valuable is to be aware and conscious of Allah Almighty.
Allah korkma dediğimiz hata yapmaktan korkmak.
What is valuable is to fear Allah Almighty. And what do we mean by saying fearing Allah Almighty? It means not to be afraid of Allah Almighty. It means to be afraid of making a mistake which Allah Almighty will dislike.
Allah Azze ve Celle'nin karşısında hatayla çıkacağız diye korkmaktır.
To fear Allah Almighty means to be afraid of, not Allah Almighty, but to be afraid of appearing with mistakes, sins and errors in the divine presence before Allah Almighty.
Maksat korkudan değil, Allah korkutmaz. Allah Rahmandır.
This is what is meant by fearing Allah Almighty. Allah Almighty is not someone to be afraid of, because Allah Almighty is the all-merciful, the all-compassionate.
İstediğin kadar günahın olsun, af dilersen Allah affeder.
Allah Almighty is the one who, no matter how many sins you may have, if you ask for forgiveness, Allah Almighty will forgive you.
Onun için bir şey yok da Allah'tan korkmak. Allah'ın karşısına seni görüyor, senin bütün hatalarını biliyor, onların hesabını vereceksin.
Therefore, fearing Allah Almighty means realizing that He sees you. Fearing Allah Almighty means realizing that you will be standing in front of Him. It means to be aware of the fact that He, Almighty Allah, knows all what you do. He knows your mistakes. And it means to be aware that you will give an account for the things you did in front of Allah Almighty in the divine presence.
Ama sen Allah'tan korkup da af dilersen Allah affeder.
But if you fear Allah Almighty and ask for forgiveness, Allah Almighty will forgive you.
O sitreder seni. Yaptığın günahları da affetmiş olur. Kimse de seni rezil etmez.
He, Almighty Allah, will then veil you. He will cover your sins and your wrongdoings, and He will forgive the sins you committed, and He will not disgrace you before anyone.
Odur mühim olan.
And that is what we should be seeking.
Yok, sen Avrupa şöyle dedi, Avrupa bizim şöylese de Amerika böyle istedi. Onların çok.
There is no benefit in caring about how others perceive us. It doesn't matter things like what did Europe say about us, or to be concerned about how Europe sees us, or to be concerned about what America wanted. But you hear speaking about these things.
Bir de abartarak söylerler.
And you hear people speaking about these things with great exaggeration.
Halbuki da senin nerede olduğunu haberleri yok onların. Senden ne haberi olacak?
But you care about them while they have no news of where you are. They don't even know of you.
Bu işleri yaptıran şeytanın ta kendisi, şeytanın askerleri.
And it is just Shaitan preoccupying and distracting you. And it is Shaitan's soldiers who make you do these things in order to be misguided.
Allah seni mükerrem, muazzam, müşerref yaratmış.
Allah Almighty created you honored. He made you in a magnificent and noble manner.
Ne sen başkasından daha iyisin, ne onlar senden daha iyidir.
You are honored as a human being, and as human beings we are equal, and no one is better than another. Neither are you better than them, nor are they better than you as a human being.
Onun için Allah'a karşı gelmektir. Kendini başkasından daha, kafirden daha düşük görmen Allah'a isyandır.
Therefore, you need to be careful, especially when you see yourself lower than a disbeliever. That is a rebellion against Allah Almighty.
Allah muhafaza etsin.
May Allah Almighty protect us.
Allah herkese aynı yaratmış.
Allah Almighty created everyone the same as human beings.
Onun için o fikirlerden oraya gideceğim. Şimdi millete herkes Avrupa'ya gideceğim, Amerika'ya gideceğim diye.
Therefore, one must become aware of what one is concerned about, and one must move away from those ideas of migrating here and there and changing one's ways. Because nowadays you hear people saying things and striving to go to Europe or to go to America.
Uğraşıp durur. Oraya gitsen ne olacak, gitmezsen ne olacak?
But ask yourself, what happens if you go there? And what happens if you don't go?
Allah rızkını nerede yazmışsa oraya alacaksın o rızkı.
Wherever Allah Almighty has written your sustenance, you will receive that sustenance.
Allah insanlara, Müslümanlara, herkese akıl fikir versin.
May Allah Almighty give intellect and mind to people, to Muslims, to everyone.
İyi düşünsünler.
And may they think well.
Allah onun sevdiği kullarını eylesin hepimiz inşallah.
May Allah Almighty make us all among His beloved servants, inshallah.
ومن الله التوفيق. الفاتحة.